Shout out to USARK and all USARK members. If you don't know what USARK is, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and click the third link in the description below. See what USARK is all about, okay? You never know when legislations are going to hit your backyard, so that's why it's very important to consider becoming a USARK member today. These numbers really do matter, and they look at it for consideration when it comes to battling legislation. So first and foremost, thank you, Phil Goss. Thank you to anybody out there who partners up and volunteers with USARK organization. Thank you for anyone out there who's a USARK member. And if you can't become a USARK member today, please talk about it on your platforms. Let your neighbors know, let all your pet stores know what USARK is here for, and it's here to fight for our animal rights. Thank you to every USARK member and USARK supporter out there.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world, episode 649. Chad Fuchs, CF Snakes in the building, finally. I'm really stoked for tonight's guest. I'm not going to lie with you guys, man. But, man, I'm your boy MJ. What is good? Happy Thursday. You know, these Thursday nights feel like a Friday already. Good way to get your weekend started right here on Trap Talk with MJ. But, yeah, man, this is your first time tapping in. If you're into the ball python game or reptile world, or just coming in or whatever, man, been around, this is the place to be. Lots to learn, okay? Why I'm excited for tonight's guest. We're going to get into so much tonight, and so you guys are in for a treat. If this is your first time watching, if you like to listen to all these episodes on the audio platforms like Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, please do, okay? And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on all those major audio platforms as well. Just want to remind you guys that Trap Talk is 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. So any day of the week, you could get a new episode right here on the Trap Talk Reptile Network. So I got to say thank you for all the love and support. Any of these episodes that you listen to, thank you so much. Really means a lot. Now, if you want more behind the scenes, you want to get more of an exclusive look of what I have going on, then please come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. You can do that by clicking the very first link in the description below. As soon as you join the Trap Talk Patreon family, connect you to a Discord with an awesome Instagram group chat, people from all over the world. So thank you so much for all the love and support. And yeah, man, shout out to people who are here in the live chats tonight. It's going to be good. I'm telling you right now, shout out to Joey in the building. What's up, Joey? Trap Talk Patreon member in the building. PJ's Creations, Amanda, one of the halves of PJ's Creation. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Big E Top G in the building, delivering to Reptiles. Trap Talk Patreon member. And, of course, Monday nights. It's the main guy right there, bro. Gotta check him out on Monday nights. Don't sleep on Big E. Dylan D's Balls and Exotics, my OG homie right here. D's nuts. What's up, Dylan? Thanks for being here. Another Patreon member. My boy Shane, dude. I want to just, listen. If you're in the reptile hobby and you just keep, God, welcome. This is an awesome place. It's fun. But if you're here for the breeding side of things, man, it feels good to get some of this breeding stuff under your belt. And my boy Shane experienced his very first boa litter today from a female that I used to own. So that feels, and she produced for me as well, but she gave way better results for my boy Shane. Me and my boy Shane did a better job getting her ready for breeding. So he did it, man. Go give him a follow right now on Instagram, Above All Scales. And he already, I believe he posted a story. I don't know. He shared it with all the Patreon members, all the trappers. But either way, go give him a follow. Congratulations, Shane, on your very first boa constrictor litter. All right, what quite the accomplishment. I'm telling you right now. Hey, listen, hatching out anything or producing anything is next level. It's awesome to create life, but when it's a live litter, something like that, it's a whole other experience for sure. So I'm glad you got to get a taste of that, Shane. Shout out to my boy Shane. Shout out to Eric's MORPH Factory in the building. Shout out to my homie Nick, the Reptile Pueblo. Trap Talk Patreon member all day every day. 219 Reptiles in the building. What's up, dude? 319 Reptiles in the building. What is cracking? Matt B in the building. What's up, Matt? Trap Talk Patreon. Remember the homie Willie B, Exotics in the building. Listen, I appreciate all the love, everyone in the chats. We're going to get things cracking here in just a minute. I do want to say, if you are in the chat tonight, if you think tonight's episode's worthy of any of a super chat, don't be shy. Drop a super chat, especially if you want to get an important question or an important topic out of the way for tonight. Then make sure you drop that, man. I won't miss it. Now, I do want to say shout out to tonight's sponsors. You can find all my sponsors' information and all the links to their platforms and websites in the description below. But tonight's sponsors, one of them being Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. Head over to MORPH Market, type in Mark Bailey Reptiles. Go follow this man's work right now. Be ready for some amazing heat to be posted by Mark Bailey. We're at that point where he is, I think, at the end of his breeding season. So now we're going to be hopefully seeing some crazy heat posted from Mark Bailey. So for now, guys, head over to his MORPH Market, like I said, see what he has available currently, and just be ready for that to be updated, because Mark Bailey don't play. One of the best in the game for sure. My favorite ball python breeder, hands down, in the game. So thank you so much, Mark Bailey, over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Rice Reptile. Shout out to the Rice family. If you head over to their YouTube channel, please subscribe. They put about 3 videos out a week, and they're killing it. They're also displaying and spotlighting some of the nicest ball python projects currently in the game. So shout out to Billy, shout out to Don, who are just doing big things. And of course, their daughter, Channing, who's also slaying it with her company as well. So you can find all the links to the Rice family's platforms in the description below. Rice Reptiles, and head over to their website as well, ricereptiles.net. And of course, if you have ball python sheds, make sure you are turning them in to the best. And that's RGI, baby, Rare Genetic Inc. All right, shout out to Ben, shout out to Sean. Also, go check them out on YouTube. Subscribe to their YouTube channel, okay? Because they're constantly putting out updates and putting out different episodes to inform you guys of what's happening right now with the amazing world of genetic shed testing. So, again, cutting edge, next level stuff. Head over to their Instagram as well. Go give them a follow. Thank you so much, Sean and Ben, over at RGI. And if you want to talk about cutting edge, if you're just coming into the ball python game, make sure you are organized. You are standing away from all the laziness that is currently, being displayed in the ball python game, man. Look next level and look organized with Clutch. All right. This organization app just really helps you get ahead of the game. Okay. And it also kind of taps you in with a whole nother group of organized individuals who want to take all this ball python stuff to the next level. So if you definitely want to look professional, this is the way to start for sure. Thank you so much, the entire Clutch team. And you can also find all Clutch's information in the description below. And yeah, shout out to all my sponsors. And yeah, shout out to everyone in the chats. I'm excited. Listen, I got to tell you a quick story. Well, as you guys know, obviously I've gone to a lot of Tinleys. All right. But Tinleys are like definitely a special place to me. Just like Tinleys, like it's a special place for anyone. I feel like if you're in this game and you make it to a Tinley, you have Tinley stories that stick with you forever. I remember meeting Chad. I think it was 2022, or it could have been 2023. I feel like after a while you just forget. But a few years ago, I met Chad in the lobby through Mark Bailey. Mark Bailey was like, you need to bring this guy on your show. He's like, I just don't know if you would do your show, because he's kind of like does his own thing. And anytime I get told that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go after this dude if that's the kind of dude he is. And so, yeah, and then I kept seeing Chad at more Tinleys and shows, and was like, yo, I need to get you on my show. And he was like, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. And then I finally came across his Instagram account. And then I was like, holy shit. So CF Snakes on Instagram. You could also find that link in the description below. We can follow. But yeah, enough is enough. I was able to just get this organized, get it ready. He was actually supposed to come on last week because I thought Winston was going to pull a little lame ass move and not come through. But he did come through like 2 days before he hit me up saying, no, I could do it. I could do it. So I was like, fuck, dude, Winston. So that was a great episode. Make sure you go check out that episode last Thursday night with Winston. But yeah, man, we got Chad Fuchs tonight. It's going down. So you guys are in for a fucking treat. You're going to be mad stories being told tonight. Okay, a lot of information because Chad goes back to the day. I don't really know how far back he does, but I know he's an OG for sure. He's been around the block, especially if you are referred from Mark Bailey somebody like Mark Bailey. Like, come on, dude, you've been around the block. So you guys are in for a fucking treat. Let's go. Episode 649. Do what you got to do to get your mind right. Do what you got to do. Stay hydrated. Okay, Chad Fuchs, CF Snakes on this beautiful Thursday night coming at you right now. Let's go. Cheers.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. when I come up with the drop. Gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with everybody. We do it. Everybody. We do it.
And we're live, episode 649. Chad, you made it, buddy. You made it.
Thank you so much for having me on and staying persistent.
Dude, I'm so happy you're here. And like I said, man, it's do you remember the year we met? What Tinley that was? Was that 2022?
I think it was right after COVID. The first year opened up after COVID.
Yeah, so that was 2021 actually then.
Was it 21 they closed and 22 it opened?
Maybe. Yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah. And obviously Tinley's the stopping ground of yours, right? Like correct me if I'm wrong, you've been around the block for a minute, right, Chad?
Yeah. I've been keeping snakes since 1980.
Fuck. 1980. How old are you?
5. And then I started breeding in 87 in 7th grade.
How old are you, Chad?
I just turned 50.
Wow, you don't look that old. Wait, well, I guess 50. Okay, so
I'm getting up there.
So you're pretty young right off the bat. So you were in the 85. You were how old? You were
85. I would have been 10.
10 years old. Okay, and it's something about reptiles, like from what I remember in the late 80s, early 90s. Definitely like a third world type feeling. Like you didn't really know too many people keeping reptiles. It wasn't a regular thing. It's definitely became a lot more normalized now. But like for you being 10 years old, who was influencing you to keep reptiles? Was it just being outside and finding them, or?
Yep. And then in high school, it must have been 8th grade or 9th grade. I found the Wisconsin Herp Society.
Oh, cool.
It had been around long before that, but I had just discovered it. And then I went to their monthly meetings and talked to other people that were interested and got some tips on how to incubate and breed and trial and error. And just, I was never allowed to keep more than 3 animals in the house. My mom is still terrified of snakes to this day.
Yeah.
But then after high school, I went up to UW Stevens Point, and the dorm room was day geckos, veiled chameleons, and leopard geckos underneath my bunk bed, bearded dragons underneath my desk, and my closet was a rack of gray-banded king snakes, ptheri king snakes, corn snakes.
Wow.
Something else.
So before you had all that stuff, you already knew about it. Like you had already had, research, and like it's something you knew you wanted before you were able to get to that point, right?
Yeah, I never knew I was going to make a living at it per se, but I always was going to keep these critters, and just trying to find as many books and buy as many books as I could back in the day.
Yeah.
And, I don't have like a Bob Ashley library, but I've got several bookcases full of books from over the years that I've collected.
That was your guys' internet in a sense back then. That's how you guys fucking figure shit out. Even though there was,
and
stuff
trial and error.
Yeah, right. And mainly trial and error, because stuff in a book I feel like is so like, okay, like you can only really understand so much with what they're saying. And really, even to today, Chad, I always say, like, I don't care who your mentors are. If you've never experienced it firsthand, like that's how you really get an idea, like, what to do in certain situations, no matter what it is. If it's a fucking snake stuck in an egg, or snake that doesn't eat, or you got mites or some shit, like, You know, a lot of the stuff comes firsthand, you know?
I agree. And what may work for me may not work for you based on your environment, your situation, your temperatures, your altitude. But I think also just always trying to learn from the animals helps too.
So when it came to growing your collection, it was mainly colubrids. That was like the start of everything. You know, that was like the meat and potatoes from the beginning.
Yeah, I've always been a colubrid lover.
Okay.
I did get my first ball python, I think, in 92.
92.
And then I spent my first money on a ball python. I bought a pair from VPI, Dave and Tracy Barker, in 95. I bought a pair of het albinos.
Wow.
For $4,500 or $5,000.
Holy shit. And you're only like 20 years old then, right?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay.
And then I bought my first big colubrid, which was the albino Nelsoni from Don Wilson of 7 Generations. So I think those were $4,000 a pair. I bought those, I think, in 96.
So you buying those kind of snakes in your 20s in that time of fucking, you know, in that era, the 90s, it was
all priceless.
That's big money right there.
I mean, the shows were still going. I mean, the Daytona show was down in Orlando.
Is that where you sold a lot of your snakes? Was that Daytona and like in shows vending? Is that where you got a lot of the sales?
No, I did a lot of trades back in those days. And Daytona, I'd never vended when it was Orlando. I'd fly down Friday night after work, and I was breeding leopard geckos and I think what was Theri King, Gray Banded, a lot of Mexicana back then. And Porphyracia came later. That was in the early 2000s. But I would put them in my socks on my carry-on, send it through the x-ray machine, and it would go in the luggage compartment above your seat. And that's how I would fly back and forth with all the animals. This was prior to 9/11.
Yeah, obviously. It's crazy it's really crazy how lax things was before 9/11 and like how people were just traveling with whatever the fuck they wanted to travel with, really. And
most of the shipping was done through Delta back then. I mean, we did use UPS a little, or I did a little bit, but it was mostly Delta Dash.
It's not called Delta Dash no more, but man, Delta's reliable, man. I think I was Gary and somebody else. I think Marshall. They were giving me shit for using Delta. Like who the fuck uses Delta? And for me, it made sense for the bigger snakes. Like I think back then I had the retics and stuff like that. But I never had an issue, never had a layover like fucking go bad, or like it was really straight fucking forward process every time I used Delta. So I
don't think they may have missed a connecting flight 1 or 2 times, but they always never had a DOA or anything like that with Delta. And with venomous, you got to send it that way too, at least with the Gila monsters and the beaded. So
yeah, I will say there was one time I forgot this. It was Pennsylvania. I forgot the name. I guess there's 2 different Pittsburgh airports in Pennsylvania or something like that. I can't remember, but I sent it to the wrong airport and I was fucking pissed. And I was like, and it was one of my lace monitors, and I have never shipped a lace monitor before, so I was already really nervous about it. And so poor Mac Dre ended up like being held for like 2 days at some fucking airport.
It made it though.
He made it. Yeah, he made it. So, but yeah, with that being said, on the shipping side of things, I mean, we're so much going on. I feel like, in today's day, like not only with the market, but like, I'm sure you're paying attention to like the shipping wars and all that shit that's happening right now. Are you, Chad?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. It seems like.
And for somebody who's been around as long as you, like, how do you feel when you see something like that? Like, I mean, are you just ignoring it and just fucking use what you want to use? Or like, are you loyal to a certain company? I'm just curious where you're at, being the person.
Both. I was lucky in that I got connected with an account through a friend of mine in Colorado, and a direct FedEx account. So
there you go.
I've always been able to use that for a good rate. And
yeah,
I've used Ship Your Reptiles and Redline both. And then of course the other account and MORPH Market, I've tried using his shipping account too.
Have you ever used UPS before, like FedEx got to where it was at? Because I know UPS was an option at some point that people only had, I think, or can you fill me in on that?
That was all I was using for a while after 9/11 was UPS. And I could ship walking into the counter without an account. I could ship a box out to you in California there for $17.
Wow.
But I got the rolls of tape, so it's overnight, and I would put all the red tape all over the boxes, and
Yeah.
they never asked questions. I mean, obviously you got to write on there. I think it's now more prevalent, but back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I don't think a lot of people were aware of the Lacey-Act rules. So I would just write it in a pen or a marker, the quantity and the name.
I'm not gonna say any names, but there's a guy who's been doing this since the 80s, and really only is known for one species. I don't want to say too much because people will connect dots, but when he'll sell a fucking $7,000 animal and ship it in an unlabeled brown box, like you almost have no idea what's in it in a sense, and only because I guess that's what they did back in the day, right? Like they didn't want nobody to know what was in that fucking box. Like it was like just send it, and so. I remember seeing the box. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what did he send you? Like, it's just a brown box, like no holes, no nothing. And I was like, and mind you, that whatever process that person does is works. So
yeah, I'd heard stories back in the day. If you labeled it live snake or live reptile, sometimes they would disappear.
Yeah, or something.
And that was with both FedEx and UPS. I had heard stories of that.
Yeah.
Now I think it's
all regulated now. Yeah, it's cameras everywhere. Like it's just you'd be an idiot to try to do something nowadays,
Right. And the coding they know where that package is at any given time.
So I don't think enough people really kind of touch on this enough. Going back to you being in the mid 90s, fucking spending thousands of dollars on a ball python. That was an era where ball pythons weren't that easy to figure out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like weren't people like fucking struggling breeding them back then?
I don't know if they was necessarily struggling, but most of the animals coming in at that time were a lot of imports.
Yeah.
And so getting them acclimated, I think, again, I don't know. I didn't deal with a lot of balls back then. I know in 98, I flew out to California Super Bowl weekend, took another red eye Friday after work and picked up my first albino ball python. And again, it went in my shorts and I came back Sunday. But
what that albino cost, that visual in 98?
$7,500.
God damn, dude.
And that was an imperfect animal. I think they were going for 10 for perfect animals back then. If you could get one. I couldn't get one.
So it had a kink or something, or something was wrong with it?
It had a kink in its spine. It was a male, but it was high up on the spine.
And it's still bred for you?
Well, that's then in 98 in Orlando, at the National Reptile Breeders Expo, I bought a ghost hypo ball from Doug Beard for $3,000, and all those adult het albino, the het albinos were now up to size, and I had picked up some new thermostats from a very well-known breeder that brought them in, and I was duck hunting on the Mississippi River over Thanksgiving, and I came home and
cooked.
As soon as you walked in, you could smell death.
Oh, that's terrible. I know that feeling. Unfortunately, it sucks, dude. I forget when I moved into this house about a little over 2 years ago, and so the old house that I had, like that room was so warm where the whole rack system that I had I never heated it up. It was just ambient heat. And so when I got into this new room, Chad, it was so cold. I was like, oh my God. So I quickly just grabbed, I remember back then I had a tub full of fucking thermostats. And I remember just picking whatever fucking, not even thinking about it. I was like, let me just hurry up and pick a thermostat. I picked one out and then plug it in. And then the same thing overnight, something woke me up. I could smell something. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then it was like Backdraft. It was like that movie what's that movie? Backdraft or something like that. The fire. Back, something like that. Yeah. I was just like, oh my God. And my whole rack got to like 160. And luckily, like only one level, they all died. And even then I was fucking mortified. I was so, oh man, I was eating up, dude. I was so fucking.
It sucks. I mean, because I was using the Herpstats. Sorry, not Herpstats. I was using Helixes back then.
Yeah, Helix is great.
And I still have some to this day. I still trust them. But back then to get the night drop, you had the black box you had to plug the phone cord into, the little blue thing, you adjusted it with a little screwdriver. And this new one had the night drop all built in. So I grabbed two of them. And of course, one failed on. And my racks were made by a furniture cabinet maker.
Mm-hmm.
But they were made out of melamine. And it melted I think it cooked 18 of the 20 snakes in the rack. It was a 2x10, and all the higher end animals perished.
I was gonna say, I mean, those. I'm assuming the animal we're talking about here, you had a bunch of other high end stuff in that same.
A lot of just a lot of normals.
Which was back then. That's those were worth good money back then. Those were
$1 a gram.
Yeah,
for captive bred. Yeah, adult females.
And listen, like obviously you're not the only story out there. This is why it's like, man, I dread that day. This is why I like being home so much, even though it's kind of like I got to get out of the house. But man, I fear that happening someday where shit hits the fan and I'm just not home for it. It's like every keeper's fear. I feel like it's fucking, it sits in the back of your head.
It's always back there floating around. I do like these new herp stats with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
because then it'll ding you if something goes high, low, whatever you set your alarm for. And
yeah,
I also my HVAC system in the building here is also set up to send me alarms if something goes high or low.
So
which is helpful.
I don't want
to Wi-Fi.
Go ahead, Chad. What'd you say?
I was gonna say if your Wi-Fi is down, then it won't notify you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So,
but bouncing back from something like that, Chad, what was that like? Like, how hard was that? Like, because not a lot of people could recover from
two things. One, I felt like getting rid of everything.
Yeah, it
was crushing for me. And then two, it taught me never to buy the animals just for the money. Yeah. Buy the animals that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
And if they happen to be expensive, they happen to be expensive, but don't buy them
for the
money. Yeah.
So
it was it's a lesson I still abide by it to this day. I only work with animals whether they're morphs or species, I have to really like them. Otherwise, I don't want to work with them.
And this was 98?
This was 98.
So when something like that happened to that rack, that furniture style rack system that you had, what did you upgrade to next? Or did you just get the same replacement, or what'd you get?
The rack was fine.
Oh, the rack was fine. I thought it melted.
The tubs melted.
Oh shit. Okay. So the tubs. So the racks. Okay. Because I was like,
yeah, it was the 28 quart tubs, and probably 60% of the tub was melted on the bottom. Luckily, it didn't start a fire.
No shit. Yeah. Like I'm saying, it just could have been worse. Even though 18 snakes is, like me losing a whole row sucked. But I'm like, dude, that rack system that was 160 had 50 snakes in there. So like, could have been 50 fucking all gone. You know what I mean? But I will say that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the pros and cons with having a lot of animals per rack.
I forgot a couple months after that incident, I had a couple more snakes die. I think it had an effect on them. I really do.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
And I don't set every level on its own thermostat, but I do break up just a couple levels per thermostat or per probe now.
Yeah.
Just to try to even it out.
And obviously these nightmare type things that we talk about, like some people get lucky. They don't, knock on wood. I mean, they don't have such luck or such an experience, but I almost feel like you're almost better knowing that how easy it is for it to happen and like almost keeping you on edge. That way you're, it sucks to be like that, but you just fucking, dude, think about it. Like I got all my whole life's work in here, like.
Well, yeah. And you think about it, I was talking to somebody today for a couple hours and this came up, and just all the, knock on wood, all the natural disasters that are seen more prevalent now, the floods, the fires, the tornadoes, the hurricanes.
Yeah. And
people are getting a lot of damage to their collections too, but also their homes.
Yeah, dude. Like, my big thing is like, Texas, right? Like Texas, as big as the state that is, and how many reptile keepers are there, like they have rollout blackout things where fucking they can't do shit about it, and then all of a sudden they get crazy freezing weather, which never happened in Texas, and now
pipes are bursting and everything's shutting down, and then it just compounding mess.
And that's why also too, like, and I got away with this mainly because obviously where I live, luckily San Diego, kind of a good place for reptiles for the most part. I don't have any. Like I never really had, I think maybe twice I ever had to pull out a generator ever out of the 8 years that I've been keeping. So I've been getting lucky with it, but holy shit, man, you got some people out there where they live, like if power goes out, they're fucked. You know what I'm saying? If they don't have like a backup plan, and you know, as you know, Chad, if you own a facility and if you need a fucking backup generator, 40,000, like for a legit one and all this shit, like that's where coin really comes out of your pocket, is how much you put into your facility that's going to save everything from dying.
It's those contingencies with contingencies on the contingencies, the backup plan to the backup plan.
Yeah, and like I said,
insurance long term.
And you know, if you're in here just fucking, you know, I guess just entry level, just trying to have just a handful of animals, you never have to worry about something like that. Or even you might even do sometimes. But like, if you want to take it to the level of having your own room and you have rack systems and shit like that, well, then you have to consider all the other elements that could go down, especially if you live in an area where you have real seasons. Like I said, I'm in San Diego. We don't have real seasons here. Like it's fucking awesome. You know, it's expensive, but we don't fucking ever have to worry. We don't have to worry about shit. Some people like where Mark Bailey lives and where you live. I mean, it gets freezing where you're at, right, Chad? Like you deal with crazy snow.
Yeah, I'm only about 5.5, 6 hours from Mark.
Yeah,
he's a little bit further north of me, a little bit west.
So it gets maybe colder where he's at, maybe
a little bit. Same. I mean, we're the same temperature today.
Yeah, and so
64 today.
Where you live now, how far is that from where you grew up?
About 5 miles.
Oh wow! So you're basically in your same.
I haven't traveled far. No, I like the area. I like the seasons. I love Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Fall I love for hunting and fishing, and spring I like for hunting and fishing and the weather. And then I like the winter. Summer's my least favorite time of year. I don't like the heat.
See, I rather deal. Well, I fucking hate the heat too. But man, the cold does something to me, man. The cold really shuts me down. Like I almost can't even function if I'm too cold.
But if you're out doing stuff, you're not really cold.
I guess you're right.
You know, even ice fishing, toss a football or some frisbees or horseshoes or something.
But you know, when you're like raised in areas that normally don't get that cold, you can't handle like.
It takes. You got to get acclimated to it. I agree.
Yeah, but I will tell you one thing. I'm like very proud of this, even though I got to prove myself. But I was able to fucking really get down the cold plunge. I was able to fucking do it for like 5 minutes.
You did that once?
39-degree weather, or I'm sorry, 39-degree water.
That's fun.
And it was great. Honestly, like it was fucking. I remember the first time I did it, I lasted 20 seconds, and it was like way too much. And then I saw my wife did it, and she did it for like 3 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck? And I felt like a complete bitch. And so I was like, dude, the next time I do it, there's no way my wife could do it longer than I can. And so next time around, and I will tell you, it was like peak fucking summertime in Miami. It was so hot. I was so sticky where I'm like, I would have jumped in anything cold. I didn't give a fuck. But I did it, and I was, you know, kind of proud of myself that I could put myself in cold water like that.
That's one thing I've never done. I think they call it the polar plunge here in Lake Michigan.
Yeah, shit, that's colder than 40 degrees. That's like negatives, isn't it?
It depends on the winter. I mean, sometimes the lake will freeze almost all the way across. Sometimes it's just out in the bay, in the breakers, in the areas. But it's chilly.
Let's talk about how you approach your breeding season, being so many years deep in it at this point. Like, I'm pretty sure there are times during the year where you're not breeding at all. Like, are you pretty seasonal when it comes to your stuff, Chad?
Yeah, I'm still learning and still doing stuff. I have not brumated a colubrid, I think, since 2009. And again, we get Mountain Kings to go. We get the alternate. We'll get all the Mex to go. And I don't really remember how that came about. I don't touch a thermostat. I don't touch a light cycle. Mm-hmm. It's usually 13 on, 11 off. Sometimes it might be 12 on, 12 off, but I really don't mess with the cycles. And the temps stay the same. But usually around November, a lot of the animals will shut down on their own, but I just reduce their food intake. And so they might get fed once or twice a month. And then usually sometimes, again, depending on the schedule when I get going on it, sometime between February and April, I'll start feeding them regularly 1 or 2 times a week. And then that triggers them, and then I do the introductions.
So that you limit the food when in the winter, like so November?
Yeah, basically for the colubrids, yeah, usually from November to somewhere between February and April. And
then you feed, then you pair, or do you pair then feed?
I feed heavily for about a week and a half.
And then you
and I also feed small meals.
Yeah, right.
So I give 2 or 3 prey items per feeding.
Yeah.
And what's a larger one?
And like, you know, man, it took me a while to figure out like the whole smaller prey, more frequent thing, because all it is a trigger in their head for them to realize like, oh, there's a reason why I'm getting this much food is because the food's going to stop. Like it's going to like, and you almost have to, they almost tell themselves they almost have to get ready for something, which kicks them into that cycling stage. Right.
It's almost like a feast or famine.
Yeah. Right.
You know, chow on it. Food's available. Go. Let's reproduce.
Right.
Again, I have no scientific data or anything like that behind it. It's just how I do things, and it seems to work.
I'm a huge believer that I know there's multiple different methods of cycling, but the number one cycling is the food for sure. Like that's you get anything to go with the food. I think
so, especially with the balls.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, because Justin, shout out to Justin, but he doesn't change a fucking thing in his room all year round. Weather-wise, it's 80 degrees, ambient, 24/7 in his room. 365. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about just the food intake for ball pythons. And I think there's other species like what you're mentioning that you could get away with. But I mean, I think it all comes down to food, no matter what species it is. Like, sure, other cycling will help and it doesn't hurt, but that food cycling is the number one. I feel like personally.
I think that's the trigger for sure. And again, it doesn't hurt to brumate, and I might go back to it just to get a few months of less work time. But
that honestly, that's what got me out of colubrids. Was I was so convinced that I needed to keep them that much cooler than everything else, and I was like, I don't have the means for a colubrid room. Like I remember telling myself, like, how am I gonna pull this off and keep them in the 60s or whatever I had to do? Like it really like discouraged me from going into the projects that I had, because I was keeping over 10 different species of colubrids at one point. Or Boega, actually. I had a bunch of Boega.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep the colubrid room pretty cool. It's usually 68 to 70 ambient. And then the heat tapes, the hot spots are somewhere between 78 and 80.
Okay, hold on. Wait, say that one more time. Say that one more time, Chad. I'm sorry. I missed
So my ambient temperatures for the colubrid rooms are 68 to 70.
68 to 70 all during the day too.
Yeah, I don't like heat. So right now we're in the ballroom and I'm very uncomfortable, and it's 78 degrees in here. So,
dude, I keep my room pretty warm too, because I don't fuck with heat. I rather just control everything in the room personally, just because risks and everything else, right? But like I forget how warm it gets in my room. So when my wife comes in here to talk to me, she'll just look like she'll start getting nauseous. She's like, I got to get the fuck out of this room. And I'm like, why? She's like, it's so fucking hot in here. Yeah. I'm like, it's 80 and a half degrees in here. Like, she's like, it's fucking humid. I'm like, I work in here. I'm in here all the time, dude. So
I don't like working in this room personally. It's just too warm for me. But the AC is set to turn on at 80, and if I do it lower than that, then the thermostats, the racks are working overtime to heat back up. So it's just, this is where the sweet spot is for me.
You use herp stats, you said, right? Or what are you using now? What are you
using? I'm using almost all herp stats. I do have a few helixes still too.
Do you take advantage of the max power percentage? I just like became obsessed with that over the last few months, because one of my biggest things with the emeralds was whenever I turn on basking, it was 100% fucking full go. Like whenever that panel would turn on, and if I were to get a temp gun, it would be like 150 right on the panel. Like it would just be so hot, and I hated that because I would dry them out. And then I found out that there's a max percentage wattage or something that you could set on the herp stat, and I sent it to 50%. And now when that thing turns on, I can literally touch it, and it's warm, but it's not fucking scorching.
I've not toyed with that feature yet. No.
Well, because like for instance, like you wouldn't have to worry about those working so hard. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only going to turn on to a certain percentage.
Right. And I have it set up so you can see how hard it's working at any given time, and it's usually a zero. I mean, once in a while it might spike to like 20-25%. Yeah, but I think once everything gets heated up and warmed up, there's really not much to really raise it up that much.
Yeah, so
warm.
You basically have that heat almost where the ambient's at already, so it's already almost in a sense just where it needs to be. Is what you're
right.
saying.
I mean, the hot spots for these guys are anywhere from the high 80s to maybe mid 90s, depending on the rack.
And you know, I don't know. I just I
And
don't know.
again, you'll watch the animals. So if you open a bunch of tubs in a rack and they're always on the hot end, I'll bump it up, and if they're always on the front end, I'll turn it down a little bit.
But I will say that one of the things that Mark Bailey put me on to this, you know, because he obviously doesn't ultrasound, or maybe you do, Mark. I'm sorry, but Mark's all like, for the most part, I feel like Mark's so trained with the eye where he could just see. And I remember asking him a couple years ago, like, you know, I had this girl, because I don't ultrasound. I need to, I feel like, just to have that under my belt. But I remember having this girl, I was like, she's been getting locked. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, when we pulled that tub open, she was on the heat. And if she's still eating and she's on the heat, she ain't fucking, you know, when they're building, they're on the cool side. They're not on the heat at all. And they're, you know, they're belly up and they're wrapping the bowl and stuff like that.
All contorted positions and everything.
And so, and that's another reason why I was like, once Mark taught me that hack, I was like, fucking, you know, another reason why I don't need an ultrasound. Even though I feel like, again, this is an excuse for me not to buy one, because it does, you know, when you have crucial males and you don't want to waste locks, it's important to have an ultrasound. But for me, I like just to fucking backyard fucking breeder it and just, you know.
Well, you know, I agree. I never wanted to get one, and I got one, and I never used it. Now we use it once a month just to see where the females are at. And then we've got all these different colored clips. So we've got green, we've got orange, we've got blue, we got black, and we got pink.
Yeah.
And it just lets us know what stages, so I can quickly glance around the room and say, all right, I got to get a male there. Male's in there. He's got to come out. She's ready to go. Get her some food, pound her with food. She's building, blah, blah, blah. And it just makes it easier for me, sight, visual-wise, to see where everything is. But the ultrasound helps me get there.
Is your ball python season right in tune with your colubrid season? Like everything's pretty much together? Is it separate? How's that work?
It's ass backwards this year. We just got clutch 33 this morning, and we've only got like 26 or 27 colubrid clutches so far this year. Last year, we only had 34 ball clutches total. And I think we tried to pair 72 females this year on the balls. I think we're going to hit somewhere between 55 and 60 clutches, which is,
it's not bad.
Well, for me, that's too many.
It's a lot.
So,
yeah. I mean, it's a lot. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, the
that's
ratio wise is good. Like as far as your percentage of what went is not bad.
Yeah, that wise is good, but that's still going to be a lot of babies for us. So. Yeah, go ahead. And then the colubrids, really, all the Pitiophis went early this year. In fact, I just pulled a bull snake. It was her second clutch already this season. The garters are late. We just had our first litter of garters last night. Nice. And I don't have a single Honduran. I think I have one corn snake clutch on the ground. No Sinaloans. No hognose yet.
How are those doing? How are those doing for you sales wise compared to ball pythons?
This last year has been really strong for us. But I think we actually started advertising on MORPH Market too. So that's been a big help.
So you weren't before?
Not really.
Well, and how are you getting by? Like, how are you able to survive? I mean, I think Mark's the only guy I know who doesn't have Instagram, doesn't fucking use it, and doesn't need it, I guess. And God bless him. I think that's amazing. But how are you? Were you kind of on the same tip like Mark for a while, just not really entertaining the social media side of things? And
yeah, I think I just joined Instagram. I think it was a year and a half ago. But I'm trying to post. I don't think I had posted from Daytona until earlier this year. And now I'm trying to post at least Monday through Friday every morning if I can.
Makes sense because
I'm trying to stay vigilant to that.
Because like I said, when Mark put me on to you years back, I was like, well, he doesn't really have a social media. Like, what the fuck? I know I got your number, but never saw you on any social media really. And then I started fucking seeing you, and I was like, dude, what the fuck? I was seeing cool stories of you walking into your room every day, and I'm like, all right, dude, you're coming on my show now. Like, enough is enough.
I prefer to talk on the phone versus email or text.
But what about this? This is going great. How do you feel right now? Because okay, let's take a time out and let's.
I was nervous.
Let's explain the beaver skin next to you. Why do you have the beaver skin next to you? Is that for because you're that nervous? Can you explain why you have that next to you?
It's just a beaver pelt.
Is it your lucky beaver pelt? Like why?
Well, yeah, I guess it could be. I feel I don't know if I feel more secure with it, but I like having it there.
I love it. No, this is great. I mean, but you feel good right now. See, like it's not.
I'm comfortable now. Yes.
Okay, good.
I was nervous coming on. It's just, I don't know why.
You asked me 4 different times what you should wear. I'm like, God damn it, Chad, are you kidding right now, or like what's going on?
Well, I wasn't sure how you wanted me to dress.
No, you're good. All right, let's get back to things. So, okay, so your ball python season is a little bit of 180 right now compared to what it normally is. But as of right now, with the production side of things, obviously the market's a weird place right now. We can't say it's the same for everybody because not everyone's having issues selling snakes. Some people are doing work out there and doing great. Where are you at with your ball python sales? Are they down? Are they up? Are they stagnant? Where are they at?
We're up 620% January through April 30th of this year over last year.
Up 620%, and that has to do with the advertising.
Yeah, 100%. It's got to be with
wow. So,
because the shows have been better this year too. I mean, I do a couple Wisconsin local shows, Tinley, but I only attend the March Tinley. I did the first 2 years when it was just the fall show, but then I gave up the fall show just to continue my duck hunting up in Canada.
Oh, so you don't even go to you don't even attend Tinley fall shows?
I haven't been there since 2003.
Oh, so I only see at the March shows, huh?
And then Daytona and St. Louis.
So you really take the hunting thing as that's like your life. Like it's part of what it's like, like breeding. Like it's a hobby of yours that you fucking love.
Another passion.
Nice. Is there a certain thing other than duck you like to hunt? Almost anything you can, or like what's your
waterfowl, specifically duck, is definitely my favorite. But we were up in Kodiak Island, Alaska in October and November of 23. And I was able to harvest a brown bear.
Wow.
But I've been up to Northwest Territories, caribou. I've been to China and Mongolia duck hunting. North Dakota, Maine, Arkansas.
Wait, China, Mongolia. Wait, you duck hunted in China is what you said?
Well, we didn't actually hunt China, but we had to carry our firearms, and that was a tricky scenario. Whoa. We had to do a little bribing to the military, the Chinese military, to have them release our firearms.
Whoa, who were you with? Do you have a Chinese homie with you, or like no?
We had 2 interpreters with us and a broker, a Chinese broker. But that was only so far as through Beijing, and then once we left that and got into Hope and up into Mongolia, then it was just we had the federal biologist of Mongolia with us. We were the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Westerners to go to Mongolia after they had opened up the harvest. The 2 ornithologists from the Tokyo Museum were the first 2 Westerners to get into Mongolia and harvest birds.
Wow, what year was this?
2001.
Damn, 2001. Holy
so
shit.
It was in May of 2001, so prior to 9/11.
Whoa. And I'm sure this was something you wanted to do like for a while. Like that was like a huge goal for you guys.
Well, ironically, we were supposed to go to Russia to hunt Lake Baikal because I really wanted to harvest a Baikal teal. But with all the turmoil at that time, that didn't pan out. So we had to cancel. And
so what happened to all the ducks you killed in China? Where do they go?
Well, we didn't actually kill any in China. It was actually all Mongolia.
Mongolia. Okay. What happened to all those ducks you killed? Were you able to bring
we skinned them all there and sent them in through San Francisco into the broker, and now they're all been taxied. Sent them to Joe Ziegler over in Michigan and did all diorama mounts. So we brought 27 birds back. So
the game for the most part that you hunt isn't for the eating; it's just for the sake.
Oh no, it is. I just like I hand paint all my own decoys.
That's cool. That's neat.
I just like being out in the marsh, seeing the sunrise. And I'm a water hunter, not a field hunter. I mean, I will field hunt, but I prefer being on the water.
All right, we're gonna get wild right now, and only because I don't know, I might get flagged on this on YouTube. I don't give a shit because this story, from what I remember hearing at Tinley, was epic. Why don't you tell me what you do with the dead cat in the jar? Like, tell us that. Tell us.
That's just bait for coyote hunting.
Walk us through the process. Like, see, I want people to hear it the way
I don't like feral cats. Okay. So we'll preface it with that.
Yeah, I don't like feral cats either. They fuck up a lot. So that's first and foremost great.
You see over 1 billion animals a year in North America alone.
Okay, so you get a feral cat. What do you do with it?
We can shoot it.
Okay.
And then you stuff it into a jar, glass jar preferably. And then you take it out into a field and you let it ferment for a few days.
Oh.
And then you sit back and then you break the jar with a 22 or something. And then you do some calls, and that smell attracts the coyotes.
How quick are you seeing coyotes after that thing pops open?
Sometimes you don't see them at all.
Really? So okay, so
I don't know they're there at night because the cameras will pick them up.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I do use electronic collars too. So
what is that? How does electronic collars work on a coyote?
Well, it's just like mine has got it's a tube, basically a tube with 2 speakers, but they're adjustable, so you can adjust the speakers.
Yeah.
And then I have a remote control, and that's got, I don't know, 1,000 different animal calls. I mean, it's got an elephant trumpeting in this.
What?
Yeah.
So you just basically scares them the fuck away, like basically.
Well, no, I'll use a rabbit distress call, or I'll use a coyote pup distress call.
Pull them in. Got it. Oh, shit.
And then you set it far enough away from you, and then you can control it with a remote, and you can adjust the volume. And
are you ever like black ops, fucking camouflage out there at night hunting these fuckers? Do you ever do that?
I haven't done that. Good friend of mine's got the full. What are they called now? They're air rifles.
Okay.
The air guns.
They kill you. Those could kill a coyote, an air gun.
You can kill an elephant with these things. These new calibers.
Really?
Yeah, they come up to 50 cal.
Holy shit! An air gun?
Well, it's an air rifle. Yeah. It's all compressed air.
Oh my lord!
But he's got the thermal imaging scope on it. He's got the night scope on it. So we've gone out and we have not harvested one yet at night. But here in Wisconsin, coyotes are open season 24/7, 365.
And you're
day or night.
You're mostly seeing these fuckers in the peak of summertime, or when do they mostly come out?
I'll see them early in the morning. Most of the ones I've shot around here have been 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Or I have shot them at night with a flashlight.
Wow.
But yeah.
That's epic. All right. Get back to snakes. So ball pythons, man. Like, when did you kind of started seeing the connections with your passion with wanting to work with ball pythons? And did you ever kind of see it getting to the point where it's at today?
No, I never saw it being where it is today. I've always enjoyed the genetic side of things, but I don't want to call myself a purist, but I don't believe in hybridizing. Not that I don't believe in it. I will never keep a hybridized animal.
Other than a ball python?
Well, no. I mean, I'm like a corn snake, king snake cross, or
my bad. Okay.
I work with 46 species. So I've got a bunch of, most of those are colubrids, but we do have some geckos and some turtles and tortoise.
So no,
and lizard.
Right. So no designer green tree pythons for sure, ever for you.
No what?
No designer green tree pythons ever for you.
Oh, I don't know. I used to keep chondros, and I just had a ruse.
Oh, but what are your thoughts of, like, for instance, the subspecies crossing back into?
Well, that's a great question, because I've just learned about all the different localities being like separate species or subspecies.
Yeah, well, because I was on this whole like fuck hybrids until Ryan Young pulled me aside and told me, hey, you know that designer that we're looking at, and we're at Bill Stiegel's place. He's like, that's a mutt. He's like, that's a hybrid. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a green tree python. He's like, that's not the same species. It's a subspecies. And he broke it down on how it all is. And he's like, that designer is a super mutt. And I was like, what? I was like, but I love it. What do you mean? You know what I mean? And so, because like, for instance, if you show me a fucking what is that ball python chondro hybrid? Oh my god, what a freak show that is. But I want to break the screen when I look at something like that. But then it's, in a sense, the same fucking thing as the designer chondro that I love. According to Ryan, that's what he told me. So
I guess, and I guess I look at it from how I've always looked at it. A chondro was a chondro. You just had the different localities.
Right.
And, back then they weren't known as subspecies or different subspecies. I guess that's how I view it. But no, I don't have an issue with that either. I mean, but you look at the creamsicle corns, it's an embryo to a corn. I mean, they've been around for as long as I've been breeding for the most part. The creamsicle corns were one of the first corns I ever had.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be an embryo corn cross.
Has your production, the level of production that you have with the ball pythons, has it been about the same throughout this whole time, or has it just increased throughout the years?
Oh, gosh, no. I didn't keep ball pythons for a long time. I had them, but they weren't with me.
What do you mean?
Well, I had Tim Bailey and I have some projects together, and Jeff Domanius, Phil Bartozak and I had some projects together, and
that's cool.
Evan and I. But I've got severe allergies to the rodents, and when we were running the rodent business, we had balls at the shop, but I didn't have them at home. And then when I built this building, then they all came in. So this is last year was my biggest production ever for ball python eggs clutches, and that was at 34. And
this year you're gonna beat that this year.
Yeah, we've got 33 on the ground, and
he's counting
21 that have already had their pre-egg lay shed.
Wow.
Coming. And then another 10 that have ovulated but haven't shed yet.
And even to this day, you only ven the March Tinley, or is there other shows you ven?
Daytona.
Oh, Daytona. That's right. Okay, Daytona.
And then the NARBC in St. Louis.
Oh, you do St. Louis NARBC? Cool.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much the only national shows I do know.
There's rumors, and again, I don't know how serious this is, but there's rumors that Chewy might buy out NARBC, or might be the new owners of NARBC shows. How do you feel about
really?
That? Yeah, what do you feel about that?
Well, I asked Brian for extra tables. I've been asking him for years, and I said, "How does Chewy come in here and get an end cap while I get my only table?" I said, "Can I have one of their tables?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just going to kick out our sponsor." I think look with Morph Market changing hands.
Yeah,
I think it's become better.
It's part of life,
and look at mergers and acquisitions on any industry. Yeah. Sometimes most of the time it's better. Sometimes it's not. I think Tinley has got such a good following. I think Bob and Brian have done very well with that show. I don't think it should change much as long as Chewy doesn't try to reinvent the wheel with it.
Yeah. And again, I don't know how much of this is actual, like, for reals, or is this fucking rumors being spread? I don't want anyone to take this. Like,
I hadn't heard that, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's like you said, though. Yeah, it's Brian Potter and Bob Ashley have been in the game for fucking decades. You know what I'm saying? So something at some point will change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're gonna do it forever.
We're all getting older too, and
Yeah.
maybe they don't want to do the workload anymore. I don't know.
No.
Time to move it on. Could be.
Yeah. So other than Daytona and the couple NARBC shows you do, you're betting that Morph Market's gonna be good as far as getting a lot of the productions that you don't need to hold back, find homes for?
It has been very good this year. And then of course just the contacts for moving animals as well that we've developed over the years.
So as of right now, ball python wise, what are the bread and butter projects that you're working with? Like what are the foundation projects?
So the only things that we're focusing on are VPI Xanthic, Desert Ghost, Clown,
Nice.
Ultramel.
Nice.
I have one Xanthic G-stripe female that we just had some babies hatch from. And she's just a dinker project. And then some monsoon stuff.
Ooh, you're into monsoon.
Well, I don't have any visuals yet. But we produced some triple heads last year. And we just had a clutch laid. Actually, we've had 2 clutches laid that should hopefully produce us some visual clowns double head DG monsoon this year. And then there's a third female due to lay here on the 17th.
Let me ask you a question, Chad. Those het monsoons, those are 100% het monsoons, right?
Yeah.
How much visually are the hets influenced by that monsoon? Do you feel like
I'm terrible at picking stuff out, but I will say that when we did hatch them last year, being in the clowns and the non-clowns, they definitely stood out even to me. And I don't have a good eye for picking the minute little details out.
Are you? I mean, I'm sure you're pretty. You're pretty aware of incomplete, dominant, and recessive, right? Like the two differences. Do you have a feeling like that monsoon could possibly be an incomplete dominant, not a recessive?
Well, the interesting thing is it's the same ratios, right? In breeding,
right?
I mean, I don't know. You look at all the different markers with pieds, or even with time. I mean, I think there's a lot.
I think I can't. Here's the thing: I don't work with every recessive, so I can't tell you what the rest are. But I got to tell you how many times I've produced 100% het clown that had that fucking head stamp just like a clown does. You know, like little markers where I'm like, holy shit! Like you were this close to becoming a clown, and I don't know how you're not, but you're for sure 100%, right?
Right.
But that doesn't really make it an incomplete dominant because of that, right? So because it's not consistent.
Sorry, it broke up on you. It doesn't.
But that that
right.
That mark, yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean it's an incomplete dominant just because it has that head stamp marker, showing that it's a het, right?
Yeah. Right, and even looking at the monsoons, I mean, not all of the het monsoons, and we had them genetically tested, just to confirm it all. But every het that we had visually picked out did test as positive. And everything that we thought was not a het did come back as negative. And again, it wasn't a huge scale. It was only maybe 15 animals.
Right.
But we were able to pick out, I mean, it's a smaller sample, but we were able to identify all that.
So all the recessive morphs that you just named off could, in a sense, look great all together. Is that your goal? Like, are a lot of these projects meant to go into each other, or you're isolating some of them from not being into each other?
I'm not a huge fan yet of the Ultramel and the VPI.
Okay.
But I think adding some of the other genes in there might make it more appealing. Just to me, again, this is just personal preference. But like with that axanthic G-stripe, I would like to see an axanthic G-stripe clown desert ghost.
Axanthic G-stripe clown desert ghost. Oh. Yeah.
Again, double visual, double het to double visual, double het. It's still going to be a 1 in 16. And hitting those odds is difficult.
Yeah. Well, definitely, especially like the more you have at play, the harder it's going to become. Hitting. I feel like for sure.
Right. And like one thing we did this year is we were not going to produce any triple or quadruple hets. We had to at least have a visual double het or a double visual het or a double visual double het.
Yeah.
Just because we wanted to really not get into those crazy odds.
Hey, Chad, let me ask you a question. Does your laptop, is it plugged in? Do you have a charger?
Yes.
Okay. Do me a favor. We're going to go to commercial break, sign off, and come right back in. You're lagging pretty bad right now. It's not the worst.
Okay.
But we're going to go to commercial break, so we have about 4 minutes. So just sign out and come right back in, okay? And it should reset whatever lag issue it happens, okay? So, all right, guys, we're gonna cut to commercial break. Hang in there, be right back. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Longevity is one of the biggest things I strive for when it comes to thinking about being a part of the reptile industry. That's why I'm very proud about today's sponsor, Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. 40 plus years, full-time reptile keeper, enthusiast. This guy, you can catch all his amazing ball python projects on MORPH Market. So make sure you head over to MORPH Market, and that's Mark Bailey Reptiles on MORPH Market. See what he has available currently. And I got to tell you one thing, he's one of the biggest and most respected ball python breeders we have today in the ball python game. So shout out to Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. Thank you for all the support. And again, make sure you head over to his account on MORPH Market, see what he has available. Thank you so much, Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. If you want to be organized, if you want to be cutting edge in the ball python game, then you don't want to miss this. Shout out to today's sponsor, and that's Clutch, #1 ball python organization app in the game. No better place to start off than by using this app. Clutch is an organization app that helps you organize all your ball python projects. It also helps your peers and your fellow community members look at what you possibly have coming for the upcoming ball python season, what you have currently available on MORPH Market. It's so awesome to be ahead of the game by using organization app like Clutch. Thank you so much, the entire Clutch team, amazing team over at Clutch. If I were you, I would head over to Clutch's Instagram account, and I would also head over to their website, try it out, see how it works for you. But especially if you're just now coming into this, before you build your reptile collection, I would do it organized, and I would do it with Clutch. Thank you, Clutch, for being so amazing. Excited to hear what Clutch has to bring in the near future. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. One of the things I love the most about the reptile world is reptile businesses that are family oriented. I love the Rice Reptile family. Rice Reptiles have made quite the name for themselves over the last couple of years, rebranding themselves and also bringing amazing cutting edge, front of the line ball python projects that you must check out. Again, make sure you head over to their website, ricereptiles.net, Rice Family Reptiles on IG, to give them a follow, see what they have coming out. You can catch them vending at all major NARBC shows, Southeast Reptile Expo. A lot of great stuff coming from this family. So again, thank you so much, Billy, Don, over at Rice Reptiles. If you're in the ball python game in 2025, you know what you should be doing with your sheds, and that's turning them in to get them tested. That's right, no more POS hets, no more 66% hets. We can find out directly through today's sponsor, and that sponsor is Rare Genetic Inc. Thank you so much, Ben and Sean over at Rare Genetic Inc. Head over to their website, raregeneticinc.com, and head over to their YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. They put out a video every Wednesday to update you guys on new current events over at RGI. But I got to tell you right now, very excited to continue my partnership over at Rare Genetic Inc. Head over to their Instagram account. Make sure you follow them on Instagram, subscribe, hit that notification bell on their YouTube channel. That way you're current on new announcements and anything that they got to update you with. Again, thank you so much, Rare Genetic Inc. RGI, you guys are the best student in the game. All right, welcome back, guys. Get the likes up, and we are going to get back to Chad here. What's up, Chad?
Is this better?
Way better, 110%.
Wonder what the hell happened.
It happens. It's just a connection thing after a while, but we're solid now. So,
I was just going to touch back, when Ben and Sean came out with the, that Desert Ghost ABCDEF thing.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
It was, but I also took the stance and looked at it like, look, this is breeding how I always bred it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think it still is what it is, right? I mean, we can't control it. So I just look at it and go for it and try to hit the visuals. And if they hit, they hit. If they don't, keep trying.
And, and I'm kind of glad, I didn't want to have to beat a dead horse on that whole monsoon topic, but like, at the end of the day, like, let's say it is an incomplete dominant. What the fuck is that going to change? Nothing. Like,
that's my point. It
cool gene. Like, it's a gene that no matter what the fuck it is, you're going to want to work that fucking gene.
Yeah. You do head to head, you get 1 and 4. You do a visual to a head, you get 1 and 2. You do a codom to codom, you get a super 1 and 4. I mean, it's still, you still are trying to all achieve the same end result.
Yeah. And so, with the recessives being where they're at in your projects, I feel like no recessive projects can really hit any kind of its potential without the right incomplete dominance. So what are your choice ingredients when it comes to the incomplete dominant side of things, Chad?
So we're working with chocolate.
Yeah. No chocolate.
Wookie.
Oh, let me pause you, Chad. Hold on. And you're non-biased to this. Like you don't really know the backstory with this. Also, this other little banter. Chocolate Wookie being the same. Do you feel like that's accurate?
I didn't know that. I don't know.
Are you? Because you don't know because you don't notice it, right? You're not.
They look similar, but I think they also look different.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
I mean, but
yeah. So do you have Wookie going into chocolate, or are you keeping them separate?
I'm keeping them separate right now.
Yeah.
But we only started producing last year. Was our first year really producing. But we hit some super chocolates last year.
Those are amazing.
We haven't hit super Wookiees yet.
Yeah.
So that'll be this coming in late 25 into 26.
And a few months ago, I was asking, like, why do we see so many super chocolate stuff, but we don't see a lot of super Wookie stuff? I had some DMs in my Instagram shortly after that episode with some super Wookiee stuff. It just does not hit like super chocolate for whatever reason. It looked cool, don't get me wrong, but like super chocolates are like, they stop you in your tracks, dude. You're like, holy shit. Like
They are neat.
They're fucking nice, you know.
I do like super chocolate stuff.
Do you follow Prague Morphs from Prague? It's a couple out of Europe. Do you follow them at all, Chad?
I don't think so.
They're probably one of my favorites when it comes to like the super chocolate combos. They just because they have it going in puzzle and other shit like that. But it's
from like the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But man, I'm just so excited about super chocolate stuff. You know,
I'll have to look them up. No, I don't follow them. Yellow belly, red stripe, black pastel, leopard.
How do you like sunset?
I don't work with it.
I mean, it's dropped a lot in price. I mean, will that price make you want to get back into it?
Here's the thing, right? Like I said earlier, I work with what I like, and I can only have so many animals, and I only want so many animals, and there's so many things I want to do with just the DG, the Ultramel, the Clown, and the Axanthic, and the Monsoon right now that I'm already producing more animals than I can hold back.
Yeah.
Should try to get to those end combo results. So to bring in another one is just too much. And again, like I said, I like the G stripe, but I have one female.
Yeah, it's so easy to say I like this, I like that.
Oh, so we have a little bit of hypo too. We have a few hypo DGs.
I think everyone needs a little bit of hypo nowadays, man. Like how can you work 2025 ball python projects without hypo? I'm
going to ask you something. Are you good at IDing stuff?
I'm all right. I think so. I'm no expert. I got a right eye, I think, even though it's itchy.
You think this is a hypo DG Ultramel?
Mind you, you're showing me through a fucking computer, okay? So it's gonna
all
be
right, fine.
But try your best. Let me see. So okay, tell me the pairing and show us the snake.
Triple het.
Hold on.
Hypo DG Ultramel. And I think this is, I don't know, this has got to be close to egg number 55 or 60 out of all the clutches we've had. But we haven't produced one that looks like this yet.
That looks like shit, like the quality does. But I does that head look white? I want to say it is hypo. I could just by telling how light the head is, show again. The quality looks good. Yeah, okay. So say that one more time. What the pairing was?
Hypo Ultramel DG.
Oh my god, that's nice, bro. I think that is hypo. I don't know. I'm staring through a fucking computer, so it's hard.
Because here's a hypo DG for comparison.
Yeah, that's hypo, bro. That has all. I think that's the Ultramel.
I think this is Ultramel too. So I think this is the triple.
Yeah, for sure. I would be confident. Obviously, shed testing is where you want to go, no matter what.
Right. We'll send them out,
dude. Epic. So that was potentially an Ultramel DG hypo.
Yeah, I don't think it's got spot nose in it, but yes.
Nice. Fuck yeah. Damn. So you already got triples of that going.
One.
I mean,
maybe.
That's nice. So okay. So let's talk about a snake like that. What's the end goal? No, not really an end goal, but what's the move once that snake becomes? Wait, did you sex it yet? Is it a male or female?
I didn't.
Oh, let's find out. Wonder what the sexes will be. I'm guessing
male.
Oh, male. That's perfect. Get the feeding.
Oh, it bit me.
All right. You got bit.
Now we'll put that into some clown projects, I think.
So you want clown to be in the mix. Dude, Axanthic in that would be nuts probably. But you're not an Axanthic Ultramel guy.
Not yet. I like them, but I don't love them yet.
Yeah. Is there a recessive that you currently don't have in the mix that you are looking to add? Like anything out there that you can't get that you can't stop thinking about?
A single gene recessive?
Yeah, or even a project maybe.
Yes, the Axanthic DG Clown.
I thought you have all that already.
Well, I haven't hit one yet. I started the project in 2018.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We did just hit some Axanthic DGs. 66 head clown.
Do you have any shot at that this year? Or do you have anything paired up where you could hit that?
Yeah, we've got a few clutches a couple clutches in the incubator right now.
Well, what are those pairings?
It was clown double het,
Mm-hmm.
male, pastel axanthic double het male, and then the females were all the females are normal triple hets.
Wow.
So 1 in 32 odds, long shots.
What do you think of Mark Bailey hitting a DG Exantic
I
Clown?
don't want to talk about
it. Wait, what?
I don't want to talk about it.
Back-to-back years, this fucker hits it off a triple het to triple het.
5 eggs.
5 eggs.
5 egg clutches.
Pretty boss.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
So okay, for instance, like, you know, you get a DG Exantic Clown. For you, like, what is the right thing to go in that case? Like, once you have that snake, what's the next direction?
I just want to look at it for a while. I think I'd like to put Monsoon into that and maybe G-Stripe.
You like G-Stripe that much, huh?
I just like what it does with clown. And I like the Axanthic G-Stripe, but I think the DG needs to be in with the Axanthic, because the Axanthic DG to me is always how an Axanthic should look, if that makes sense. Like if you look at all the other anthristic or Axanthic animals, especially like the sand boas, it's just nice and black and white.
And it looks clean, right? The DG cleans it up so much, you would say.
Very
right?
clean.
Like even the ones you just showed right now, even the one without Ultramel was like, holy shit! It looked like someone sketched it. It didn't even look real. It looked like someone drew it.
Right. I mean, this girl I think is phenomenal looking.
Shout out to everyone tapping in. Appreciate you guys. It's a great episode.
And she just had her pre-egg lay shed 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful.
Just a hypo DG.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
and this is from that same triple hets. So she proved out to be not het Ultramel.
Okay. Where'd she come from?
As far as
like, where'd you get her from, or did you produce her?
We produced her. So my female? My female to Jeff Nemanius's male from Gateway City Reptiles. And we produced triple hets. Hang on.
You're good.
We produced the triple hets in 2019.
Nice. Okay.
So we've produced Ultramel DGs, the Hypo DGs, the Hypo Ultramels, but we have not hit the triple yet. So we're hoping this year that, well, maybe that one will be it. And maybe this girl will be producing something closer too. At least double visuals.
So the shots at the DG Exantic Clown stuff, you already have those eggs in the incubator, or they're about to lay?
They're cooking. They're already cooking. I have one clutch left. No, two females left to lay. 3 females have laid.
So you have 4 shots.
5
shots. Fuck yeah. Oh, you're hitting it, bro. I have a good feeling you're
hitting it. The first one we didn't hit it out of 9 eggs.
Well, I have a good feeling you're hitting it for sure.
I hope.
I don't miss. If I have that,
we didn't hit it last year either.
I think Trap Talk, for whatever reason, brings breeders a lot of good luck, and then also I have a good way of seeing the future. I don't know what it is, but I statistically have a history of predicting the future. And I'm telling you right now, dude, I see an Exantic DG Clown visual in your future this year. I really do.
Well, if we hit it, I'll call you, and then we can show it on
Trap Talk.
The podcast.
All right, cool. Okay, cool, man. So now with that being said, you know, for as long as you've been doing things, Chad, do you always want to keep the volume as far as like the amount of species you have, or do you feel like at some point you're going to start either weaning off some of the projects? Like, do you feel like you're at a good spot with everything, or as you get older, are you noticing that maybe some things may not be here in the next few years?
Oh, that's a good question. There's a lot of species I would still like to get.
Nice. Like
And
what?
get back into species that I used to breed that I no longer have anymore. Some of the Porphyracea, maybe
Nice.
some of the Philodryphus. I see myself weeding back on the quantity of some of the species. Maybe just going back to like trios or 2.3 groups of them.
Yeah.
Just having larger groups of that stuff. But I really enjoy the different varieties, and I'm going back to more. I'm trying to get a lot more wild type but locality animals now in the collection. Go kind of away from the morphs on the colubrid side.
Right. Are you a one-man show, dude, or do you have help? Like, what's going on with the
Evan Colstead from Right on Reptiles helps me, and we partner. He's got most of the Ultramel stuff here.
Oh, is he not far from you? Does he live by you?
Yeah, he's 15 minutes away.
And does he have stuff at his place too, or is it all at your house?
All here.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, he's been a big help, and it's fun having him because we talk about throwing ideas of what I want to pair, what he wants to pair, and then all of a sudden it's like it doesn't make sense to do that pairing. Let's do this instead, and it's like the light bulb goes off by talking every day on this stuff, on how to pair stuff. So it's really helpful for both of us. I'm trying again, like I said, we did not breed for any triple or quadruple hets this year. They all had to be visuals, het, visuals, double het, visuals, triple het, double visuals, het, double visuals, double het.
So if it is a het, it's already some sort of a visual, is what you're saying, for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. And that's part of the stepping stones, right? Like that should be anyone's goal.
Well, I think if you put the time in, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but hitting these triples, even hitting doubles from double het 1 in 16.
Mm-hmm.
I look at this again, the Xanthic DG clown. I mean, starting with triple hets, I mean, you could breed for a decade at an average of 6 eggs a clutch and never hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, next year we're going to have all double visual males going het. And then we'll have visual and double visual het girls going. So we should hit it next year for sure. But it's
regardless, it's like you said, if you're not on a timeline and it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And, and the luck does have something to do with it, I think, at some point, but you need the numbers, man. Like if you got more stuff going for you, then your chances go way up,
Well, I think the numbers too, right? And I don't want a lot of animals.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take care of day in and day out. And it's not just the balls, it's all the colubrids, it's the rodents, it's the turtles, it's the geckos, it's everything that you got to take care of.
Colubrids are messy, dude.
Well, they like to poop. They like to eat though too.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
fast metabolisms, they shit quick.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm excited about this clutch of African house snakes we just got earlier this week, or was it yesterday? It's potentially quad het house snakes, which I don't think have been produced yet. So it's blue-eyed, T-negative albino, T-positive albino, and hypo.
Those house snakes have been really taken off in the last, I would say, this year they've been getting more popular, big time. I feel like the house snakes.
We sold a lot of them at Tinley this year. They are a neat little snake.
Yeah, they are. That's what I'm saying. They're not too much to deal with. And they're not boring either. They're really neat looking, cool snakes.
And they're super chill as adults. As babies, they're flighty, but as adults, right. I mean, they'll literally sit in your hand. I've had one sit in my hand for probably an hour straight and not move.
Remind me, house snakes are the ones that have that Burmese looking face, right? They have like a Burmese type, like lipping. Like, am I right? The head almost looks like a mini Burmese.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say like a children's or a spotted's or something like that. Antreza python of some sort.
I can't remember. I remember the first time I ever heard or even seen a house snake was at Garrett Hartle's facility, and he just jumped big time into the house snakes. And this was like 4 years ago, and he just kept pulling all these house snakes out. And I'm pretty sure that's when he showed me like the cool fucking uniqueness of the face being like almost looks like a toy Burmese.
They're like a little mini python.
Yeah.
And really their coils, whether it's live or frozen, it is a perfect spring coil. I mean, those coils every time, every animal, they're just a neat little animal.
So would you encourage somebody, like, obviously it's all about the youth in this hobby, man. That's our future. But like, if someone's pretty excited to be a part of this and they want the growth, how much do you encourage diversity, Chad? Do you feel like that should be something someone should pay attention to picking up on right off the bat, or should they put a few years into one species and then grow from there? Like, what do you recommend from all your experience?
I always had multiple species as soon as I was able to. But I like reptiles, everything. So I couldn't be satisfied with just one species.
Yeah.
And again, having multiple species, at least for me, you've got to create different habitats for them in different zones. So you learn, again, it's trial and error a lot of times. Not so much today because the internet, but back in the day, it was shit. I kept it too warm. I cooked it.
Yeah.
Or again, too warm. I kept it at 84 degrees, always getting infertile eggs.
Yeah.
So I try to keep most of my clubbered males. All my clubbered males are on the bottom shelves, and they really don't ever hit above 80 degrees of any species.
But like, it's like you said though, right? Like if you're keeping multiple species that all have different husbandry needs, that's kind of what makes you the keeper that you want to be, right? Because your motor is ticking nonstop, and
you're learning.
You're learning. Yeah, and like you said, I love that you said this not too long ago, that you're learning even to this day. Somebody who's been doing it since the 80s, dude. And today you're still fucking learning. And that's why I'm obsessed being a part of a hobby like this, because the learning never fucking stops. Like, like it just doesn't, it shouldn't stop. If you're doing it right, it never stops.
My dad has instilled on this, and it was not always in good moments, but he always said, if you're not green and growing, then you're ripe and rotten. And I don't want to work with ripe and rotten people because they know it all.
Right. Yeah. And
so
they're so limited.
Keep an open mind and just make things better, make things different. Even if you can increase your percentages just by 1% a year in terms of fertility or hatch rate or whatever it may be, birth rate.
Yeah.
It's like these garter snakes now. I mean, we're keeping them good, and we're going to have 4 female on the checkered side go this year. And the first litter was a perfect 13. No, sorry. She did have 2 slugs, but she had 13 good ones. And I think 2 years ago, her mom, it was like half and half.
Mm.
So we tweaked it just a little bit, and it's coming up in terms of healthy babies.
Yeah, I try to encourage any kind of like promoting any kind of progress you have in this game. Like, somebody sends me a picture of a green tree python that's slugged out. I'm like, dude, like that's huge. Like she at least passed all those eggs, and like that you're getting close. Like to just even see that is something that you should, that's something you're going to document, and that's something that you experience. And that I don't look at that as bad at all.
You're a step in the right direction.
Right. Exactly. And Eugene Bissett also capitalized on that on a episode we had not too long ago, how like he would just commend and like pat people on the back for just having like, just to get the eggs. Like that's amazing. Like that's great work, and you should be proud of that. And so I try to let people know that too. Like don't get too hard on yourself. Like some people don't even get to that point. They don't even get to see eggs. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think with as many people now keeping these critters and with social media and stuff, there's a lot of eggs being seen all over the place all the time.
Yeah.
But again, 20, 30 years ago, it was an accomplishment to hit those eggs. And it still is, like you're saying, to this day.
Good.
I still get excited when you open the tub and you see them coiled around a clutch of eggs.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're in this for the right reason, how can you not get excited? Like,
it's that rejuvenation all over again. And we get to go through these cycles every single year. Oh, they're locked up. Oh, she's gravid. Oh, she had her pre-egg lay shed. Oh, she dropped the clutch. Oh, the eggs are almost about to hatch. Oh, they're pipped. Oh, they're out.
Yeah.
Oh, they shed. Now we can start feeding them.
And then the cycle just starts all over again.
Starts all over again.
And I think like people like around our age, they don't get this much excitement normally, like on a day-to-day like we get. Like that's why I'm like, fuck, I love doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because regardless if it's a ball python or whatever the fuck, crested gecko, I love digging. Even though the crested geckos are my feeder geckos, I still get excited digging up eggs. And
right,
it's still cool. Like I'm like, oh look, three more eggs to put in the fucking little, however I hatch them. But I love it. I mean,
again, the simple garter snakes, right? But it's just so cool seeing those little live babies in there.
Dude, those are getting fucking popular too, man. My buddy Trenton, I forget the name of his brand, but
Trent from North Carolina.
yes, dude.
Yes.
His garter game is like on point, and
he's got a stellar collection.
I was really like, I was looking at him like, dude, you might be onto something with these, bro, because these are fucking neat, you know. And another really cool snake, yeah, a little on the flighty, but like, you know, it's not going to harm you. You're not going to get, you know, you don't have to worry about, you know, I guess getting injured in a sense. Which
no, and certain species are definitely more chill than other species.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the Cali red-sideds are probably some of the most spastic that I've ever worked with.
Yeah,
and the Florida blues, the wanderings, and the checkers are some of the most chill. Even the eastern blacknecks are pretty chill, but they're small.
Yeah, you do a lot of herping in your area, Chad?
I used to. I have not been out this year. I meant to get out, and it just time frame just never. No, we can get about 30 minutes west of us, and we can catch eastern hogs, eastern milks, smooth green snakes. Ribbon snakes, garter snakes, butlers, red bellies, and decay snakes.
So would you say you're about to approach the busiest time of your year with everything hatching and like you're almost at the peak?
I would say in about another 3 weeks, it's gonna be stuff's gonna be getting busy.
So why don't you walk us through a day to day for you? Like, you know, what time you normally like to wake up, hit the building? What time are you closing the lights off and calling it a day?
So I usually get up about 6:45. I started eating different now, so I have I never used to eat breakfast, so now I have a breakfast every morning.
Nice.
And then I take my daughter to school.
How old's your daughter?
What's that?
How old's your daughter?
She's 15.
Wow, 52. What's
So I
that?
only got about another year left of taking her to school, and then it'll be no more one-on-one time.
Is that your only child?
Yes.
15 years old though, man. I mean, that's man, I can't imagine that.
Yeah, and she's hatched a few leopard geckos on her own, and she's taking care of the chihuahuas and the lychees. So that's kind of her projects.
She's with it.
Oh, she loved it, and she knows a lot of the Latin names of all the colubrids.
Dude, that's epic. I feel like I'm gonna be very like if my son is able to just start naming you know, the actual, you know, scientific names of each species before he's in high school, or I'll be so happy.
Well, I'm sure he will long before then.
Yeah. So, you know, how closely is your daughter working with you? Like, is that like something that you guys have a certain day of the week that you guys work together, or she just come in when
she just comes in? So typically I'll get into the building here about just before 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And then I usually leave here about 3 to go pick her up. And then I'm back in here from usually 3:30 to about 5:30 or 6. Then I go in, spend some family time. And then I'm usually back out here about 8:39. And then I'm usually, sometimes I'm here till 2 in the morning. Sometimes I'm out of here by 10:30.
Just depends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then so she'll come out randomly when she wants. I mean, one of the bull snakes is hers. So she takes care of him, and she pulls him out and holds him while she's taking care of the geckos or the turtles. And then she also does all the cleaning of the tubs.
That's awesome.
F10s them and then hydrogen peroxides them all, and she gets paid for that. So, because I don't like doing that as much anymore.
Yeah, right. And you know, obviously paying a 15-year-old, that's motivation for that 15-year-old for sure. When you know, 15-year-old could use some money, you know.
And it's part of the keeping, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's not the most enjoyable part, but it is part of it. And so she's learned from the ground up.
Yeah, I mean, I've been struggling with wanting help, and I attempted to try to get help, and I'm such a fucking, like, I have things the way I want it, where, you know, and it's nothing against the person that I'm bringing on, but obviously there's like a learning curve, and I just can't deal with like, dude, you forgot this whole fucking row of snakes. Like, how the fuck? How did you forget that? And it might not be on purpose, but maybe the person's working too fast. But me, like, I don't have it in me to be like, oh, it's okay, give him another shot. Like, if that happens, I go, all right, see you later, you're done.
Well, I think too, like with Evan and I, we both have such a vested interest in this.
Yeah.
That it you know, we'll crank the tunes, we put the sheets up, we work side by side, and, you know, he'll clean this rack, I'll clean this rack, we'll move the thing down, we'll clean that rack, I'll clean that rack, we'll switch over, and we each do a rec, and we're always side by side. Again, just scheming, going over stuff, and it makes it fly so fast. And yet we're both focused on everything, because as we're pulling animals out, all right, let's start planning about this one or this one. Oh, we could put this one to this one. No, that doesn't make sense. And it's just, I think if you find the right person, it could be a benefit for you.
Yeah, I just don't. It's just.
But I get what you're saying too, because I'm very OCD on that type of stuff, and I get nitpicky if a little turd is missed.
The only person,
or a piece of shed skin.
The only person to ever watch over my collection and never fuck not one thing up. Like, I'm talking about everything is literally perfect the way I would do it is when my wife is in charge. She's the one. She's the only one that, because I'll never forget the first time I had her in charge when, obviously before we had kids and she had the fucking time to do it. But if I took off on a trip, she'd be like the night before I would leave, she'd like take me to your room, and she would have a clipboard with notes, and she would walk around, and I would tell her everything to do, and she would put sticky notes everywhere. And anyone else that would look after my room and I'd tell them what to do never fucking did that. They're just going, okay. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So that's why I'm just like, God damn it. Like, I already know where my help's at, and it's my wife. Like, dude, my wife, I feel like we would make quite the fucking dynamic duo. But the thing is, my wife has a good job, and she gets paid very well. So it's like,
I was gonna say, does she have time, and does she enjoy it?
No, fuck no, dude. She's busy as fuck. She's great, amazing mom, holds it down, but her work is pretty demanding. And you know, she does good at her job. You know what I mean? I would have to be able to pay her well over 6 figures to fucking have her come
pull her away to have me help her.
Are you kidding me? I don't have that right now. That's nuts. But it's a goal of mine someday. Like, I know if, like, let's say my wife didn't have a really good job, and dude, and like, let's say her helping me was what needed to happen, man, I feel like everything would explode for me in a good way. Just because, you know, there's just like you should know at this point, right, Chad? There's things that we're good at, then there's things that we could use some help with, right? And so my wife, like, you know, every I's dotted, every fucking T's crossed, like that's what she's good at, you know. Me, fucking.
Well, and I would say, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, I know. No, and Chad, she always asks like how she can help. And it's really me. Like, I'm the one that always doesn't include her on certain things, but I definitely know, like, especially right now with 70 goddamn chondro eggs fucking cooking, I'm going to need help feeding these babies, dude, for sure. Like, I'm going to need her patience. I'm going to need her style. Like, I'm going to need her for sure, really closely.
It's going to be fun times. When was the first clutch due to hatch?
I think July 8th. July 8th is the first. Well, I got 2 clutches due that day. I got
3.5 weeks.
Yeah, I got 2 clutches due in the same day, and then 2 days after that, the 3rd clutch is due, and then a week after that, the 4th clutch is due.
Holy cow.
And then the 5th one about 13 days after that one. So I got 5 clutches cooking in the incubator right now.
That's going to be a busy month.
Yeah, but yes, I'm ready, man. I signed up. I signed up for this shit, you know. Bring it on. All right.
So work towards.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I got a wrap up topic before we end tonight's episode, and mainly I saved it for a reason, because I feel like this has been a huge part of your knowledge of being a keeper, and I feel like this is also another thing people don't realize how important this is if you want to do this for the long term. You know, producing your own food, you know, your own rodents. When did you visit the whole breeding rodents thing, and when did that become like something like where you were making income off of it?
Well, I think it was 2011. I had worked for my dad all through school, high school. Well, at the end of high school, through college, and then after college. And
doing what, Chad? I'm curious. What were you doing with your dad?
I was in corporate sales.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
we were the 3rd oldest Konica Minolta copier dealer in the country.
Whoa.
My grandfather had started it back in '64. And so Xerox came to him with an offer, and he was going to accept it, but then he asked if I wanted to buy the company. And it wasn't going to work. I mean, I loved working for him. I learned a lot of stuff, but I would have had to finance it through him, so he would have still had say on every decision. And where I saw I wanted to take the company, where he was going, we didn't see eye to eye. So I said, sell it, go retire. And so a friend of mine and I, we started the rodent business, and we built that up for 2.5 years. We didn't pay ourselves a nickel. We just lived off our savings and put everything into the company. And we sold that in 2021, and we were producing 70,000 rats and mice a month.
Holy shit.
Missouri was coming up to meet with us every year. We were getting a semi-load of Missouri every month. We had 9 employees, and we never had a website. We never had any advertising. It was all word of mouth, and we still were turning people away. We couldn't produce enough for everybody. And I loved it. I loved the interaction with the customers. But I've got severe allergies, so I have to wear a full body suit, hairnet, respirator, all that happy shit. And building, the closest we could get a place that the municipality would allow us to do this was 45 minutes away. And in the winter, sometimes with a snowstorm, it would take me over 2 hours one way. And those turned into just long days. And and people that know that breed rodents, it is a day and night commitment.
Well, I mean, obviously there's levels to it, but I feel like, yeah, if you want to take it to that point of production, it is fucking nonstop. It's 24/7.
Yeah, we had a 10,000 square foot building that we bought.
Oh my God.
And that's what we built 3 separate rat rooms, and then a mouse room, and then a shipping area, and then pallets. And I liked it. But just the amount of time commitment was just, it was too much after 8 years. So we sold that in March of 21, and I have a little room in here now. It's a little 10 by 25 foot room, and we produce enough rodents just to feed the balls. I still buy all frozen for all the colubrids. I go through about 30,000 mice a year for those guys.
Yeah.
And it's nice having your own and we have 1 rack of mice, we have 3 racks of rats, and we have 4 bins of ASFs. And
fuck yeah.
We feed twice a week all of our animals, again, small meals. And I'll tell you one thing we've had this year, we've had probably 13 or 14 clutches now of females that have dropped eggs in less than a year from when they last dropped their last clutch last year.
Oh, so they're going earlier.
Yeah, the one girl, one of those triple heads for the Hypo DG Ultramel.
Yeah.
She laid July 19th last year. She laid May 17th this year. So she laid 2 clutches in 10 months.
It's funny because you talk to people where things are going a lot later.
Wait, what do you mean?
So you talk to certain people, and some people say that their season is going a lot later versus earlier,
Yeah, I the colubrids are going later for us this year. The balls are just, I don't know why. They went a lot earlier. Because last year our season was from April through September. Mm-hmm. Where this year we had an early clutch in February, but then all the rest of the clutches have been April, May, and now into June. And most of them are going to be laid by the end of July, except for the stuff that we're still breeding that might come later.
Yeah.
And then we've got some girls that are coming online that we might, breed for later in the year.
And, if food. Go ahead.
I think the food, I was going to say, I love having the availability of the rodents. So we clean the rodents Mondays and Thursdays, and we feed Mondays and Thursdays.
And for the most part, because, obviously I'm revisiting breeding my own rodents. It's been about 3 months now, or maybe a little bit longer. And it's at first it was kind of like I was dreading it just because, how it is. It's like, fuck, like it's a weekly thing that you can't miss.
It's a commitment.
But once you start pulling all the babies and you start seeing the production flow out, it's kind of like, okay, it's worth it. Because now I feel great. Now I have all these different sizes for whatever whatever I want. And now, and one of my biggest struggles, because for the last, I don't know how many years, I've been getting my food dropped off to me once a week. I can't feed throughout the week. Like I only get to feed that once a week, and then I have to wait for the next ones the following week. And there's certain snakes, or especially with ball pythons that you're growing up, where you got to hit them a couple times a week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like that's been my biggest drawback with getting my holdbacks to grow quickly is I was just feeding them once a week. And obviously, different sizes, they just weren't, every week I was getting rodents. They weren't always consistently the same size rodents. They were fucking fluctuating. And then I realized this small rat is the size of a goddamn rat pup. What is this? And mind you, it's just because of the way things are out there right now. It's just kind of weird.
Well, and that's a big complaint we hear too. We do supply rodents to just literally a couple people when we have the surplus. And we always, again, it was same with when we had the other rodent business, because we weighed every single rodent, so it was consistency.
Yeah,
I think that's what our customers enjoyed, is that there was no deviation. And you hear so many times I ordered pups, or I ordered smalls and I got weans. I ordered weans and I got basically fuzzies. It's just so over the board. And again, it takes time though to weigh all those out.
Yeah, it does.
But we were working with the Milwaukee School of Engineering, just a private college here, and we had tried to get basically got a chute system, so you could weigh the animal, and then you could throw it down the chute, and it would also have a clicker for a counter, and once you hit a certain number, you could peg it. And this was for live feed, live animals.
Oh, that's cool. Damn, you get little rat chutes, like little.
Yeah, and then it just had an infrared. Well, we didn't have it fully yet, but it was somewhat in design. But that's how we were thinking, just to speed things along.
Damn.
And I think if we would have pursued that, we could have used it for the frozen as well, and it would have just sped up all that too.
And what year was it when you decided to just fall back on the whole mass production side of things and just breed for yourself?
We sold that business in March of 2021.
Wow, that's right during COVID. And so with the peak of everything, was that a smart move, or how do you feel overall about that?
For me, it was.
Okay.
I miss the customers.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't miss the time.
Yeah.
Especially the drive time. The drive time was okay though, because I'd always be making phone calls.
Yeah. Right.
Except for early in the morning. If it was a snowstorm, I'd be on the road by 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to get down there early so we could get out and make it home. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It was the right move for me and for the family.
Yeah.
Because I was missing a lot of that time with her and her sports activities I couldn't make. And now I coach her high school trap shooting team.
That's awesome.
I'm able to make all her soccer games, and it's much nicer now.
Yeah, I'm
for the flexibility of time.
I'm pretty stubborn with I like the way I do things and I hate changing it, but with having kids now, I have no choice. I'm like how you said, there's okay, you're in there in the morning and then you leave, then you go back and then you leave. I like to be in here, and then I like to be done at a certain time and never step foot in here again. But yeah, the way things are, it's just not going to work. I'm going to have no choice but to come back in here and finish shit.
Right. And there's certain days that, I just say, screw it. I can wait till tomorrow if it's not absolutely pressing.
Yeah.
We've been trying to post a bunch of animals to MORPH Market for the last 2 weeks, and we were going to do it tomorrow, and we were going to do it last Friday, because Friday is kind of our catch up day, but we're not going to get it done tomorrow either, I don't think.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
It's such, man, there's so many things. Obviously, number one, take care of the animal, make sure they're good. But when that's all said and done, when all the rodents are all said and done, guess what's next? Taking fucking pictures, posting them on the internet, and, engaging in fucking inquiries. It's just, dude, there's no days off, bro. There really isn't. There really isn't. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, but there are legit no days off.
We're simple animal farmers is what we are.
Yeah.
And you look at any farmer in this country, there are no days off.
No.
But you have to love it.
I love it though. That's what I'm saying. Like for instance, it's as much as it sounds like, oh wow, that's pretty fucking demanding. I don't want no other life. I love it. I'm obsessed with these animals, and
it's not work.
It's
if you
really
love it.
No, right. But it's also the work part is interacting with customers and selling and shit,
taking the pictures and setting,
showing the bellies and okay, you want to see the fucking grandparents? Here's the grandparents. What the fuck? What else do you want? It's but you have to do it, especially nowadays. You got to do the extra stuff to get the sale nowadays.
Well, especially with the chondros. I mean,
oh yeah,
people love that lineage. I mean, that lineage is critical.
Well, yeah, but the thing with that's part of the chondro game is you got to have the lineage, you got to have the documents, because if you don't have any of that stuff, good luck trying to sell a chondro nowadays.
Sure,
people get into chondros for the lineage. They want that chart, or they want some sort of documentation on where the babies came from, and that's why I love the chondro game. But for instance,
because you have that pedigree.
Yeah, the pedigree, right?
And it's again, that's another element to this particular species.
Yeah. Before we get off the rodent talk, I'm curious. There was a time and place where people were very adamant about ASFs being the best diet for a ball python, way better than rats. What do you have to say to that?
This is my take. I have no scientific data on it, but I have raised multiple siblings, same feeding schedule, and some grow quicker and some don't grow as quick on the same diet. So I say, again, we've got a lot of 23s and early 24s that are starting to breed right now.
And those are on ASFs or those are on rats?
Rats. And they're some of this, I mean, this is just a yellow belly DG clown female.
God, that's nice.
She will be a year old on the 26th of next month.
God damn, that's a big year. Dude, that's 1 year right there.
She's 10 and a half months old, and she's 1,700 grams.
What the fuck?
And she's not fat.
No, she's perfect. No, dude, she doesn't look fat at all.
She's not fat.
1,700 grams at 1 year?
Well, she'll be a year the 26th of July.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm not feeding right at all. Like at all. At all. Holy shit. God, I'm so glad I produced my own rats now. It's fucking on for sure. God,
this girl is a pastel Enchi leopard DG heteroxanthic. She will be a year old August 1st.
Look at dude, what the? I am doing it so wrong. If I pull out
MJ,
one here,
she's 19. She's 1,902 grams.
What the fuck is happening? I can't believe this.
And again, she's not fat.
Bro, this is crazy. I could literally pull out a DG clown I produced barely a year ago, and they're half that size. If not even half that size. Like they're like 700, 600 grams.
My point on that is
what the fuck?
I think you should feed whatever works for you.
I need to feed more. Smaller, but more, I feel like.
I think the small meals is key.
Yeah.
Because feeding for these things is stressful.
Yeah. And it takes a lot out of them. Like especially a big ass meal, and then you want to feed it another one a week later. That can't be right, you know.
And again, we feed Mondays and Thursdays, but she's usually getting a wean or a very small rat.
Yeah, dude.
And we feed most. I mean,
that's wild, bro.
This is a DG xanthic het clown.
Is that a male?
It's a male.
Nice. Damn.
He's 692 grams.
How old?
I got him in January.
Oh, he's barely 6 months. Yeah, dude. That fucker could breed right now if you wanted him to.
Oh, he is already.
Oh, what the fuck?
So, but this is strictly a mouse diet for him.
That's because that's what he prefers.
No, that's what I prefer to feed him.
Oh, you prefer? Oh, okay. Well, tell me more about that. So, you're noticing that the mice is getting them up to size quicker, or what's the meaning behind?
Again, there's so many things I'm still learning, but I just feel like the equivalent size mouse is much more mature, much more nutrient. The organs are fully developed, the calcium in the bones versus a rat pup.
Which is more fatty and like baby fat.
The pups are going to be more fatty. Yep. So what we've been doing now, all of our 24s we got onto rats as soon as we could. Now they're all back onto mice. And we're feeding mice now as long as we possibly can, and then we'll switch them to rats. But they'll eat anything. I mean, granted, we have a few picky eaters where we have to toss an ASF to once in a while, and even sometimes they refuse those, and then you just put a hide box in or something, and then they'll go right back on the rats.
How many of your breeder males turn off food a year? Like, do all of them usually turn off, or only some, or none?
No, most of ours do not turn off.
Yeah, same here.
Most of ours feed throughout the season.
Yeah,
we feed almost.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We feed almost all of our adult males mice. We keep almost all of our adult males on mice.
And I feel like that kind of diet will always keep them on food because it's not heavy.
And we keep our males. Well, I mean, this guy's a little chunky, but we try to keep our males pretty thin. Same with the colubrids, almost like they look like they're wild caught. And again, Don Soderberg told me this years ago. Oh, did I lose you?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don Soderberg told me this. Oh my gosh. It had to be in the early 2000s. But he says, if you keep your males lean and mean, they're more eager to breed.
Yeah, but I've had some big males be some of my best breeders.
Not ball pythons. I'm talking colubrids.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, that could be true.
I'm talking colubrids.
Yeah.
And we don't have any giant. I think I've got a DG Krypton that I got from the Bells in 2017 or 2018. He's probably the biggest male we have in the collection at maybe 1,600 grams.
Damn.
But most of our males are somewhere between 700 and 950 grams is where we try to keep them.
Wow.
Again, it works for us. It doesn't work for everybody, but it works for us.
Yeah. Well, I want that kind of stuff working for me. And I feel like now that I breed my own rats, I'm good. I can't wait to start implementing this. It's going to be great.
It just adds another element of the keeping.
Yeah, for sure.
Of keeping these critters. It just makes it another, like you said, you can only, if you get your weekly rodent delivery, you obviously have to feed everything that you can't keep alive on food, pups and smaller. But if you want to keep a couple extra, or you order a couple extra, you can feed that day, put them in a cage, give them some food and water, and you can feed 3-4 days later again.
Yeah. But, fucking A, man. Well, listen, great episode, Chad. I feel like you're definitely going to have to make a return. We definitely need a part 2 because I know we could keep talking, but yeah, these 2 hours went by quickly, my man.
Yeah, and I'd like to have Evan on too if we can.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we'll line that up next time. Save Evan for the trap. Don't go anywhere else. You save that guy for here, okay?
Okay.
All right. But listen, before we let you go, Chad, you're not done. You got hot seat questions, buddy. Okay.
Oh shit.
Yes. Guys, hot seat question, part of the episode. You guys know what time it is. Get the likes up. Chad, the way these hot seat questions work, buddy, rapid fire. The quicker, the better. Okay. Just give me the answer. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hot seat questions for Chad Fuchs coming in hot. You ready, Chad?
I think so.
All right, here we go. Wait, why do I keep losing? Where the hell do they go? 1 second. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. Frozen thought or live?
Frozen thought.
Egg cut or no cut?
What?
Egg cut or no cut? Would you cut
no cut?
Egg? No cut.
No cut.
All right, respect. Red Chondro Neo or yellow Chondro Neo?
Red.
Yay imports or boo imports?
Both. Depend on the species.
It's a yes or no. Like if it was up to you to legalize importation, exportation, would you do yes or no on that?
Oh, importation or export. Like if we wanted to ship over?
Yeah.
Not wild caught animals.
Anything, any animal, we like whatever comes in, comes out. Like would you open up the gates where we could get whatever we want? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. To spray or mist a ball python or to never spray and mist a ball python?
Spray and mist.
Yay sports or boo sports?
I don't know what either of those are.
Sports? You know what sports are?
I know what sports are, but I don't know what sports or boo sports.
Like, do you like them or do you not like them, Chad?
Oh. That went over my head. Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite sport, Chad?
Right now, I'm a huge Formula One fanatic. I've watched every race. I've not missed a race since 1996.
Dude, yeah. Marshall Mendez is all about the F1, the formula shit. That shit's sick. Okay, here we go. Steak or fish?
Fish. Steak. Not both.
Okay. One animal you would love to hunt that you never hunt before?
Elk.
Ooh, really? Where would you go for that?
I've been applying. I've been applying to Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Idaho, Utah.
So you need to apply for something like that, and you have to.
I'm just building points. I've just been building points over the last 6-7 years.
Wow. Okay. Yay alcohol or boo alcohol?
Oh, for me, yes.
Okay. What's your favorite alcohol beverage? Like
I'm strictly a beer drinker.
Okay, what type of beer?
I like IPAs.
All right, there you go. I miss IPAs. What's your favorite IPA?
Probably Naked Threesome.
Okay. Is that a double or Indian? What kind of IPA is that?
It's like a citrusy kind of.
Oh yeah, citrus ones are my favorite, man.
It's from like a local brewer here, Raised Grain.
The thing is with IPAs, like I could get to the point where I could drink like 6 of them in a night, and that's when you get really fat. Like those IPAs, bro, they pack weight on you big time.
And those last ones, you can't even think straight.
Well, dude, for whatever reason, I never have a hangover on IPAs. Like I wake up feeling great. No matter how shit-faced I got off them the night before, I don't get hangovers off IPAs.
It happens every time I drink now. But I only drink at the shows pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't drink at home anymore.
Oh, nice. That might be a thing for me too. Hopefully. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't drank. It's today. Well, no, it's been over 30 days since I've had a sip of alcohol.
Good for you.
Thanks. Yeah. And I was drinking every day for like the last fucking 5 months. Ever since January, ever since I hurt my knee, basically, I've been drinking every fucking day. So I'm just happy to kind of break that up.
That's good. Congratulations. Keep that up.
Appreciate that. All right, here we go. Little word association. Say the first thing to come to mind. You ready, Chad?
Okay.
Milk.
Udders.
Substrate.
Aspen chip.
FedEx shipping.
FedEx ship center.
Least favorite incomplete dominant.
Probably anything that creates the white snake.
What?
Like the Mojave complex.
Oh, got you. Okay. What's your favorite incomplete dominant?
I'm really liking the darker genes, the blackheads, the chocolates, the Wookiees. I like the red stripes. I like the combos too of a lot of that stuff.
All right. Last but not least, first thing to come to mind. Can't cheat. You ready? Coolest reptile network in the world.
Trap Talk Radio.
There you go. Radio. I love how you said radio, but I'll take it, dude. Chad, you fucking did it, buddy. It's over. Good job.
Is it not Trap Talk Radio? What is it?
It's Trap Talk Reptile Network, but I'll take it.
Sorry.
It's fine. Listen,
all
it's
right.
all good. I'll take it, buddy. Great episode. I hope you had a good time. I had a good time talking to you.
I did. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for leading me along.
Yeah, of course, man. And I can't wait to have you back on. But why don't you go ahead and just throw it out there? Where can people follow you at? If people want to, reach out to you for whatever reason, go and drop all the plugs.
You can call me on the cell, text me on the cell, or I'm on Instagram now. I try to post every day.
Okay, I'll put the links in the description
and MORPH Market.
And MORPH Market. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely.
Don't go to the website. I haven't updated my website since 2014.
So if people do want to see what you have, MORPH Markets to go to is what you're saying.
Yes.
All right, cool guys.
Yeah,
go
the
check them out.
I don't know if I'll ever update it.
Okay. All right, guys. Go give him a follow. CF Snakes on IG and go check out his MORPH Market. But give it up. It's a wrap for Chad Fuchs, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, MJ. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chad. Hey, have a good night, buddy. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Great episode, guys. Appreciate anyone who tapped in. This was a special one, man. Chad's a great guy. Really cool that he finally came on a Trap Talk and got to get to know more about Chad. CF Snakes on IG. Go give him a follow. Okay, great guy. And again, thanks for everyone who tapped in. Before you guys leave, if this is your first time watching, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. By doing those things and selecting all, you'll be reminded of every single podcast released at the Trap Talk Reptile Network, 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. You can find a brand new episode right here, okay? All major audio platforms. So if you're not somebody who likes to visually listen to these episodes, go listen to them on all the audio platforms, Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And of course, man, for that exclusive content, get more behind the scenes. You want early releases to all MORPH Market vlogs, come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. Click the very first link in the description below and come connect to the Discord and the amazing Instagram group chat, man. But great time tonight. Before you guys go, check out the sponsors and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Longevity is one of the biggest things I strive for when it comes to thinking about being a part of the reptile industry. That's why I'm very proud about today's sponsor, Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. 40 plus years, full-time reptile keeper, enthusiast, This guy, you can catch all his amazing ball python projects on MORPH Market. So make sure you head over to MORPH Market, and that's Mark Bailey Reptiles on MORPH Market. See what he has available currently. And I gotta tell you one thing, he's one of the biggest and most respected ball python breeders we have today in the ball python game. So shout out to Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. Thank you for all the support. And again, make sure you head over to his account on MORPH Market, see what he has available. Thank you so much, Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles. If you want to be organized, if you want to be cutting edge in the ball python game, then you don't want to miss this. Shout out to today's sponsor, and that's Clutch, #1 ball python organization app in the game. No better place to start off than by using this app. Clutch is an organization app that helps you organize all your ball python projects. It also helps your peers and your fellow community members look at what you possibly have coming for the upcoming ball python season, what you have currently available on MORPH Market. It's so awesome to be ahead of the game by using organization app like Clutch. Thank you so much, the entire Clutch team, amazing team over at Clutch. If I were you, I would head over to Clutch's Instagram account, and I would also head over to their website, try it out, see how it works for you. But especially if you're just now coming into this, before you build your reptile collection, I would do it organized, and I would do it with Clutch. Thank you, Clutch, for being so amazing. Excited to hear what Clutch has to bring in the near future. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. One of the things I love the most about the reptile world is reptile businesses that are family oriented. I love the Rice Reptile family. Rice Reptiles have made quite the name for themselves over the last couple of years, rebranding themselves and also bringing amazing cutting edge, front of the line ball python projects that you must check out. Again, make sure you head over to their website, ricereptiles.net, Rice Family Reptiles on IG, to give them a follow, see what they have coming out. You can catch them vending at all major NARBC shows, Southeast Reptile Expo. A lot of great stuff coming from this family. So again, thank you so much, Billy, John over at Rice Reptiles. If you're in the ball python game in 2025, you know what you should be doing with your sheds, and that's turning them in to get them tested. That's right, no more POS heads, no more 66% heads. We can find out directly through today's sponsor, and that sponsor is Rare Genetic Inc. Thank you so much, Ben and Sean over at Rare Genetic Inc. Head over to their website, raregeneticinc.com, and head over to their YouTube channel, and make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. They put out a video every Wednesday to update you guys on new current events over at RGI. But I gotta tell you right now, very excited to continue my partnership over at Rare Genetic Inc. Head over to their Instagram account, make sure you follow them on Instagram, subscribe, hit that notification bell on their YouTube channel. That way you're current on new announcements and anything that they got to update you with. Again, thank you so much, Rare Genetic Inc., RGI. You guys are the best student in the game.